Alrighty, now we're going to get into ad strategy, and this is where you make or break a store. Understanding this will make you thousands of dollars a day. Now, what I'm going to get into is our beginning strategy, because we're not allowed to spend a lot to start, right? We don't have any pixel data, and we haven't made any sales yet, so you're probably not going to be as confident going forward until you've made some money, right? Now, I'm going to give you a plan and an overview. This is how you build out a store. I want you to think of your store as a sales funnel, right? This doesn't mean that you go and make 50 million ad sets, right? An ad set should serve a singular purpose that is outside of all of the nuance of running a store, meaning getting ad sets optimized and quality. I'm essentially saying quality over quantity. You don't want to, what Facebook does not like is if you created a bunch of different advertisement sets that have overlapping audiences. So if you're trying to scale later on down the road, the way to scale is to do it, number one, slowly. Number two, build up pixel data. Number three, have all sequences like add to cart abandonment, follow-up emails, upsells, and all of that of the sort to be optimized. So that is how you make the thousands per day. Now, when we're getting into, you might start within the first week making maybe 70 to $100 a week if you do all this stuff right. Now, maybe first week you make 50 a day or something like that. But what we're going to get into is the strategy around that. You don't have any audiences built up. You don't have any assets. You don't have people who follow you yet. And you're just getting started. So the way to start is with a PPE ad. PPE. So the PPE ad is going to kind of cold sell people. Some people are going to buy here, and some people are just going to engage with it. That's the purpose, is to get engagement, right? Now with this engagement, you can then go and retarget these people. So I'm going to make a little arrow. It's a terrible arrow, but that's like a recycle. Put a little triangle in here. That's terrible. That's like a little retargeting symbol. So that's what we'll use for now, right? And going through here, we then do a conversion ad to the people who engaged with our PPE ad or our page. So if anyone goes and likes our page, anyone goes and interacts with our ads, our store and page is about these watches, right? That means that customer is going to be interested in watches. And what else is someone who's interested in these type of watches going to be interested in? Clothing, hats, ties, right? We know what these people like, and that's how we upsell them later on down the road. Now, for now, we want to start with like a $10 a day, maybe even less than that. So less than $10 a day ad set, right? And what this is going to do is we're going to auto bid it yet. You don't know how to manual bid, I'm assuming. So we're going to auto bid. Now I want to make sure I write that. We're just going to have something that stands for AUTO. I was going to abbreviate it, but I decided not to. Okay. So auto bid. Both of these ads are going to be auto bidding. Now maybe even the conversion, since you don't have that many people in the audience yet, maybe even a $2 conversion retargeting ad, all right? So this conversion ad is going to essentially retarget the people who have said, oh, I like this. Because they're interested in your page already, you know you can go and sell them on it because they're warmed up, they know who the brand is already, and number two, they might be ready to buy. And that is going to be way, way more effective money spent than just spending an extra $2 up here. So that's my reasoning behind that for you. So this is going to be step one in our grand scheme of things. So this whole advertising strategy is the way to get your feet off the ground, to have liftoff, to start making a little bit of money. Now, the way you can do this with video advertisements, and then you can retarget people who watched half of the video, and you can retarget people who watched 95% of the video. That's if you want to go and make video ads, but for you, I'm sure you want to just jump right into this. Pictures are fine, but just make sure your advertisement is good. Now, a good example of an advertisement, remember why I picked this photo, is because it emanates why people want to buy this product. It looks classy, right? Men who get dressed up every day to go to work are going to enjoy this. So it is a very, very, very good picture. Now, the only thing it's maybe missing is maybe the offer, right? Maybe in the top corner, like right up here, I might include our logo, right? The double A. That way people will associate this advertisement to our brand and they think this is us, right? And then I might put like 30% off or something like that. Just like save $10 today or something like that. Something very simple, very small text, and maybe I might even add a background to make it feel a little bit more filled. But for now, you could even just go in with this blank photo, right? And that's all you would need. So going forward and back to the Sketchpad, we are going to create our ad, and we're going to start to make sales just off this first advertisement. Now that's going to start to season our pixel. This is our little pixel, all right? And as the pixel gains more notches in it, it's going to know exactly who to pick out of a crowd when you go to mass scale later. So that is going to be a part of step 2. Now, if at any given point you're making a lot of money off of this PPE ad and the relevancy score is over, usually an ad is relevant to an audience if it's over 7. And we'll just put, that's a 7. Relevance. Just put relv. Alright, now that we've done that, the step 2 is seasoning the pixel. So what we're going to do now is go and create our first manual bidding ad. So what we're going to take from here is all of our refinements. What have we learned from spending this money for a few weeks, right? Is that what have we learned about these ads? Is 25 to 34-year-olds responding better? Is 34 is 34 to 44 or 35 to 44 responding better? Are people on iPhone responding better? In what countries are they responding better? So the way to look at this is to go on your business manager, and I know it's not going to load, but you can actually sort on the breakdown menu. It's going to be like on the top right. You'll look at the breakdown, and you can sort by age. You can sort by interest. And I'll get into that later when we're doing the demonstrations. But for now, you're going to take everything that you've learned, right, and you're going to apply it here. So we're going to type, that's a terrible arrow. We'll create an arrow, and then we'll put in a little blurb box. That is a terrible blurb. Refinements. I cannot type with this. I apologize. I need to get one of those pens that that you can. They're like the little pen. They're like the digital sketch pads. Anyways, getting off topic here. So we're gonna refine, and then we're gonna do what's called manual bidding, and I will show you what manual bidding is later. Manual. So just like a car, the automatic transmission is great for babies. Now, manual is for men. This is where we start to make serious money, all right? No, not serious money, but this is where we start to make money. This we might be making 25 to 50 bucks a day. This is where we start to make a couple hundred if we do this right. So, what am I doing? All right, manual bidding. Now what we're gonna go do is add all of our refinements into an advertisement set. We're gonna take the picture that's been working the best for us with PPE. We're gonna take everything that we've learned, and we're gonna go and set this bid up to $1,000 or $100. I'd say if you have a new ad account and you're worried about getting banned, maybe just do 100. All right, maybe even, yeah, just 100 for now. Okay, just to be safe. I'd hate for you to get to this point and then get your ad account banned. So let's spend 100. All right. Not responsible if your ad account gets banned if you put 1,000, but you will make more money if you put 1,000. Just be careful, okay? Now, what I'm saying here is we want to go ahead and get this manual bid going. So we're gonna then manual bid max if we're worried that we can't get 30 purchases in a week, or average if we want to be a little bit more cautious. So I would say average is the safest way to go. So we'll just put AVG. So maybe we'll average bid, and you want to average bid usually 0.73. This is just something I found from experience. You'll get used to like how much you should bid as time goes on. I like to average bid about 0.73 of whatever I'm making in profit. So if it's 20 bucks is what we're making in profit, I like to do 20 times 0.73. So then you'd average bid maybe 14.6. Now, usually you don't end up spending your full bid as time goes on, but what this allows you to do is get enough delivery that you are going to be able to get to 50 conversions. That's the goal. So 50 purchases in one ad set in 1 week, I should also add. So you need to get 50 conversions of whatever you're optimized for in 1 week. Now, if you're just starting out, right, maybe you want to go for add to cart. If you can't get, we'll just put ATC. Add to cart is going to allow you to, it's easier to get 50 add to carts a week, so Facebook will optimize for that. You need 50 minimum. 50 is the bare minimum for Facebook per week, right? That is going to allow you to get the amount of, or to have your ad have a chance of success. If you don't do that, then your ad is essentially learning. Until it gets to 50 purchases, it is learning. So if it's overspending, right, and let's say you're spending 20 bucks a purchase, right, that's totally fine as long as you're on pace to at least do 10 purchases a day, right? Now, if you're not getting 10 purchases a day, or sorry, you're gonna need more than that. What is, I'm sorry, my math is failing right now. What's 50 divided by 12? Or sorry, 50 divided by 7. 50 divided by 7 is, so yeah, you need 7.1, 7.15 to get to 50 purchases. So I'd actually recommend that you do add to cart first. So just put a 1 here, all right? Do add to cart first because that is gonna be way easier on this first bid. So maybe you set it up to 100 bucks, and the way to calculate how much to bid on this, right, is going to be, we'll just tie this together here. The way to figure this out is to go to your data up here and look at the past like 2 weeks, right? How many people who've added to cart have purchased, right? And that is where you're going to kind of calculate the fall off. So if let's say every 1 in 5 people who add to cart purchased, right? And that is worth, one sale is worth 20 bucks. We divide that by 5. So we want to go, and then we have 4, right? So $4 is how much each add to cart is worth to us. Now that we're average bidding, we could either put 4 if we want to get it there kind of quick to the 50 amount, right? Or we do 4 times 0.73. And that's, we'll just put 3 for good measure. I know it's 2.9. So we're going to average bid $3, right? And we're going to let this ad set, which is a conversion ad set, get to 50 over the week. Now, as soon as it hits 50, I want you to watch what happens to how many add to carts and purchases you get. What's going to happen is you might get like 5 your first day, then you get like 10, and then you get like 5. It'll be inconsistent, right? Maybe it gets 8 one day, right? 10. And then once it gets to 50, we'll just say like another 7 or something, right? So we're close to 50, right? Good measure. The whole week has gone by, and now the ad set already has a total of 50, right? Then you're going to get like 25 add to carts the next day, and maybe even 35 the next day. And this is where this is where the rocket launch effect kind of happens. And I just noticed that you cannot read what I was typing. Sorry about that. I apologize. But I'm glad I caught that on here. So this whole thing is going to get up to 40 here. So once you've gotten to this point, this is where you're going to let this ad just run for a while. If you're making money and you're not making money, right? Let's say the add to carts are worth less to you, right? Or you see out of the add to carts who's purchasing more. Then what you can actually go do, we're going to clear all of this and do new. Don't save. And let's fill this in white. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is go on to step 3. And I'll make sure you can read that. And with step 3, our goal is to now scale. We have seen a manual bid get us purchases. Now we want to go for a 50 purchase per week thing. So the way to do this is to create either a lookalike. I'll type you can go into Facebook's audience settings, upload all your customers, right? You need about 1,000 customers to do this, or you can do 1,000 add to carts. So LALATC, just get used to the abbreviations. So we can have an LALATC, we can have an LAL purchase, and we can also have an LAL visitors, and we can also have a retarget visitors. So, but for now, we want to get a 50 purchase per week ad set. So, if your product is very, very hot, right, you can go ahead and just straight up do a manual bid to the interest that's working for you, right? So you can manual bid open interest. Now the reason I don't like doing this, I totally can, we'll just put open int, right? Is because you need to have a hot product to do this. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit. People have already gotten to this as a whole, but for now, the LAL, ATC, and purchase should be plenty. You don't need to do this. This is, if you have tons of people already hyped around your brand and you're making a ton of money on your sales funnel, you can come back and do this later. Now, what I mean by this is mass marketing, like just targeting every person 25 to 34, right? If you have a hot product, you can do this, right? If your offer is converting well, let's say like the purchase amount is 20 bucks, but everyone on your store average spends like 100, right? And I'll get into how to do that later. But what you can actually do is pay way more than any other of your competitors who are advertising the same product, and that's how you can hyper scale. Now this is very rare, and you actually need to hop on trends, right? When I say something's a winning product at the beginning, I just mean you can make money off of it. Now hyper scaling is what I will coin as a term, and you can really only do this to products that are incredibly hot, i.e. fidget spinners, i.e. fidget cubes. When those trends come around and you hop on that, you can pay like 30 bucks per purchase, and it's going to convert like a monster because people are spending so much money. Also, if you have high ticket items, it all depends on how much that customer is worth to you in the long run. Now, if you're getting, if a customer in 1 month, right, equals 30 bucks, right, average, right, and a customer in 2 months equals 70, then I would totally be down to pay upwards at like max $40 a purchase, because I know that even if I'm losing 10 bucks the first month, I'm gonna make it back in that second month. Now this is more what's it called, complex and more advanced, but I want to just give you the hindsight to what you can actually do. All right, lookalike ATC, we're gonna try and go for 50 purchases in a week, right? And I wouldn't put any extra targeting over this, right? So we're gonna go for 50 purchases a week. And by the way, if your ad set is working on the other one, don't touch it. Don't touch your other winning ads ever. Just leave them be. So we're going to go for 50 purchase conversions. And then we're going to go for, after we've gotten 1,000 customers to 2,000 customers, we're going to create a lookalike for purchases. And we're going to go for purchases again. This is terrible handwriting, but you get the idea. And this is going to allow us to scale to about almost 800 a day, right? I would say. If you're doing manual hyperscaling, you're already at over $1,000 a day. Now, the other thing I want to include is that you need to exclude audiences when you're doing this. But this is the general step 3 process to getting to at least $1,000 a day. And you can do retargeting on top of this later. So retargeting, I'd always advise to do to hone out your funnel. So retargeting, retarg, and then you have dynamic retargeting. We'll just do this again. These are just things to add in later. Dynamic retargeting is essentially when someone views a product on your website, they can then go view that later. Amazon does this to you, AliExpress does this to you. And general retargeting is maybe like people who visited your website in general and you just want to send them back. So there's a lot of info. I hope you enjoyed. This is how to get to $1,000 a day. Now, This is how you build out the funnel. We'll get into more elaborate sequences in the other videos, but there's a lot of info. This will probably be the longest video out of the whole course, but understand this lesson and you will be very, very successful.